Hello, guys, and welcome back to today's episode. And today's episode is all about growth and what defines growth. Well, you see growth all the time. You see people growing up, you see people, growing in height. But I want to talk about the mental growth, becoming a better person type of growth. And it's not easy. I've been thinking about it a lot recently because I've just wanted to grow into a new person or a better version of myself, I should say, not a new person. No way am I starting this personality entirely over. But I do want to become a better person and a better version of myself. And growth like that type of growth, does not come naturally. You actually have to sit down and really analyze yourself and your issues and become a better person. And that does not come with 2 seconds. Oh, I've grown. It in a way is like aging or growing in height, because that doesn't happen overnight unless you are literally having a growth spurt, which uh I've had a few times where I would wake up and my parents would be like, "Oh my God, you're actually taller," as a kid. But it doesn't happen overnight. To make yourself a better person, it takes time, it takes energy, and it takes effort. And I've really been thinking about it a lot because I want to be the best version of myself, and I know that I haven't been, and I know that I'm trying to. Where I've flawed in the ways that I've tried to be a better person in the past is by people pleasing. People pleasing. Now, this isn't the worst thing that you could do, but it's when you people please to the point where you literally never say no, or you feel bad about saying no, or if you don't want to do something, you still do it anyway just because somebody else has told you to and you don't want to say no to that person. If somebody is making you do something that you don't want to do and you say no to doing that thing and they make you feel bad for saying no, that's not somebody that you want in your life anymore. That is somebody that you should cut ties with because they don't support you. And I've realized that gradually I am becoming the best version of myself through not people pleasing anymore and instead focusing on me, because I'm not going to lie, when you pull all of your energy from something, someone, or people pleasing, or just anything, if you pull your energy from that and pour it back into yourself, you become a better person. You do, because you're focusing on yourself. So that means that you're going to draw more people that are like minded. You're going to find better people because you are physically taking your energy and putting it into yourself, and you're building a better version. And I really struggled in the past. I really have. And I saw it in my relationships, I saw it in my friendship. I wasn't a great person to be around because when you're constantly people pleasing, you're constantly losing sight of yourself. I didn't know who I was. I'm still learning who I am. I feel like you never stop learning who you are though, because things are constantly changing, and things constantly changing around you makes you have to keep up. You have to keep up with yourself because you're constantly changing. Things are constantly changing. I mean, you see it on social media. Trends go it's speedy. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, you know? So it's the same with you and what you like and what defines you as a person. Things change. You're constantly changing. And sometimes as well, you're with someone and you're changing and they're changing, but you're just changing at different paces and maybe not changing in the same way. And therefore, that person shouldn't be in your life anymore. And maybe that's how things go. Maybe that is just how things go sometimes. And I think that's kind of the beauty in it, because if I look back on all of my old friendships that I'm no longer friends with, if I had stayed in that friendship dynamic, I mean, from then till now, I would not be the person that I am today. I am the person that I am today because I was friends with them at one point. I've created new friendships and I've learned from them. You're constantly learning and growing from people surrounding you. And life works in such a way that when you're growing from people around you and you're growing in your learning constantly, and when people leave, there's always a lesson. That's another thing that I've learned. There's always a lesson. When you leave someone in a friendship or relationship, and when they leave you in a friendship or relationship, you're constantly learning from that. I think there's a beauty to that, to be honest, because if I had stuck it out all my life with the same friend and never changed my dynamic or like who I was going to speak to, I feel like I would be a completely different person to who I am today. And I guess I've just been thinking about that a lot because growth, while it happens so naturally, growth is also a mindset. Because arguably, I could have stayed friends with a lot of the people that didn't fulfill me anymore. I could have stayed in those dynamics, but instead, I left them. Now, that's a choice. That is a mindset. Leaving things that don't fulfill you anymore makes you a better person because you're learning from those dynamics and you're realizing what doesn't fulfill you and you're not backing down from it. Now, another thing, I went to the spa like last weekend, I think. I went to the spa, hence there was no upload last weekend. I got a little bit, it was a bit kind of chaotic, I guess. I didn't really have any time to film a podcast episode, but yeah, I went to the spa and I had a facial and I had a back massage and it gave me almost, it gave me the best clarity I think I've ever had in my entire life. I was so relaxed that I could think about things in such a clear way that I've never been able to do before. We went to the cinema as well. We went to see The Housemaid. And The Housemaid, it's like manipulation is such like a focal point in The Housemaid. And it made me just think about like people stay in manipulative friendships, in manipulative relationships, in manipulative families as well. That's another thing. Like I know they're like blood related, but like if they're manipulative, don't put your energy there because it's not worth it. And I was thinking about that a lot because I have a tendency to just sit back when I'm in a situation that's like unsafe for me. And I feel like I'm changing that dynamic and I want to start now. And I'm realizing red flags. I'm realizing tendencies that aren't good. And I'm pulling my energy from latching onto these bonds, I guess you could say, and I'm pouring it into myself again. And I feel better for it. That housemaid was actually awesome. I loved The Housemaid. I think it captures like abusive dynamics extremely well. And it's not like, while there's literally and physically, I guess, entrapment, like he's physically trapping somebody, it also resonates with people that have been emotionally and mentally trapped in friendships and relationships as well. And I feel like, again, if you stay in friendships and like relationships that are like that, then you're never going to grow as a person. So, not saying that I've been in a situation like that, but I'm just talking about the fact that, like, you got to take steps to become the version of you that you want to be. And I want to be an actress. I'm pouring my energy into becoming an actress, becoming a YouTuber, becoming somebody who does podcasts, I guess now, because you're hearing this. I want to pour all of my energy into career and making myself better financially, mentally, emotionally. I just want to be a better person all round. Like I want to fill all of it and be a better person. And I think it's going to take time and it obviously doesn't happen overnight. But another thing with growth is you also have to learn to enjoy and spend time with yourself. Now, that's a hard one. That actually is a hard one because I am somebody who is extremely codependent, and I've seen this in relationships, I've seen this in friendships, I've seen this in so many things. And I feel like I've started, and I want to say that I've started this since probably the second year at uni. I have started to become a more independent person. Obviously, I did have a little bit of codependency issues still lingering, but I've become a little bit more independent. And I think the key factor in this is this year, 2026 for me, is going to be me putting energy into me where it belongs because it's my energy and my energy should be focused on me. So I am going to go get my nails done. I'm gonna go get my hair done. I'm gonna go on a trip to London by myself, because I can do that. I'm gonna hang out with my friends. I really want to book a trip to Thorpe Park, and my friend and I have been speaking about it, and I think we're gonna do it. But Thorpe Park's shut right now. We were gonna I literally said to her, do you want to do it in Feb? And February is literally like a few days away. Let me check. Yeah, it's literally like less than a week away. So I was like, oh, let's go in February. Guess what? Thorpe Park's it's shut. It's shut. And for all of the American viewers who might not know what Thorpe Park is, it's just, an amusement park with like loads of rides and, classic stuff. But I really want to go. And obviously it's shut. It reopens, I think, in March. And genuinely, gonna book tickets, because who can stop me? Who can stop me? No one. Absolutely no one. So I'm gonna go do that now. I also really want to start traveling more. And for some reason, I've been thinking, I haven't told my parents this, and I know my parents are going to be watching this, so mum and dad, please, I'm not trying to scare you. But I kind of want to go on a trip somewhere abroad, solo. And I don't mean like a week-long trip. I'm not gonna, fully jump in solo traveler mode, backpack and all, travel for like a month or 2 weeks or a week. No. I don't feel comfortable doing that. But what I do feel comfortable with is potentially taking a trip to a city somewhere in Europe and staying there for like a long weekend. So from like a Friday to a Monday, just to explore the city and just to take in the sights, and also be with myself and be happy with myself. Because I always feel better abroad. And that's what I've noticed. I always feel better abroad than I do in England. Yeah. I don't know what it is about being abroad, but it makes me happy. And I feel like I always want to do things abroad with other people. Yes, for safety reasons, but also because I feel like I can't do it myself. I had a possibility of going to Edinburgh by myself, but my now ex-boyfriend had to come with me because I felt scared going alone. Because you would. I've never been on a flight by myself. I've either had my mum or my dad, usually together. I don't think there's ever been. Oh, no, there was a flight where it's been. I went to I went to see Santa as a kid. I went to Lapland, and my mum and my family friends Diane and Tom, we all went to Lapland together, and we saw Santa Claus. But the dads didn't want to come, so dad stayed at home, all miserable, and we took a trip to Lapland. It was a great trip, actually. I wish we could have stayed there longer, and we didn't get to see the Northern Lights. I was really depressed about that. But no, my point is, I've always had somebody on a flight, be it family friends, my friends, or like my boyfriend, now ex-boyfriend. Like, I've always had somebody, like always. And I think that's why even flying to Edinburgh, which is Scotland, it's Scotland. It's really not that far away. It's less than an hour flight. And once you get to Scotland, I could drive it. I could drive back home, or like somebody could drive to see me in Scotland. It's not over the seas. It's literally it's on the same rock, you could say. So, but I felt scared. Why? Why did I feel scared? Why? And it's got to the point now where I actually don't want to be scared anymore. And I kind of want to embrace being scared. Not like I don't want to be scared anymore, as in like, oh, I'm just not scared anymore. I'm brave. I'm like muscly macho man. I'm brave. No. I want to feel scared and still do it, because who's going to stop me? And also, I also am thinking of booking a trip to like Bali, Indonesia with my friend Zayan, because she lives out like in Mongolia, but she comes to my uni for you know, it's uni, so she comes to my uni as an international student. And like, I want to do all of these things. What is stopping me? And I think, again, with the mindset of like growing, is you actually have to realize that nothing in life is ever going to stop you. Absolutely nothing is going to stop me from, traveling, seeing my friends. Nothing can stop me. And that's something that I have to learn. But also, I want to do things alone as well. Like, who is going to stop me? If I want to travel to Paris by myself, I've already seen Paris, so I'm using it as an example, but I was thinking about Paris actually until I realized the amount of pickpockets that happen in Paris, because I thought back to my last trip in Paris and some guy, we were waiting for the Paris Eiffel Tower like light switch on in the evening, and the guy stood next to us. I was speaking to his daughter and he was speaking to my dad, and he said, "Oh yeah, no, my phone got stolen earlier." And I was like, "Oh, you're abroad. How are you gonna get back home? How?" So yeah, obviously I was thinking about Paris, and I've kind of decided against it. But then again, my phone could get stolen in London. Just be wary of your surroundings. Like, I mean, yeah. But yeah, I'm thinking about that. I'm just thinking of like places that would be relatively safe for a solo traveler, first time solo traveler, and go for a weekend trip away. Because who's gonna stop me? On the thoughts of like, I guess, doing things alone, I'm gonna start vlogging more alone, going different places around England, Wales, Cornwall, any of these places. I'm gonna start going, and it might not be soon because the weather right now is not great. It really isn't. It's really miserable, and I think that also like affects my mental state and like my energy, because I have chronic fatigue syndrome. I struggle with it. It's a disability and it does limit me. And what makes it worse is weather. And a lot of people with CFS say this. They say it all the time. They're like, "Oh yeah, no, it's always worse in winter." And it is. It has been. Like, I always feel better in summer. I always feel more energized. Like today I slept in until 2. So that's not great. With all of this, I just think growth is a mindset, and you need to reflect on yourself as well. That's a big thing about growth. Taking the time to look at yourself in the mirror and really analyze your inner self. And I don't mean like looking at yourself in the mirror and going through your eyes, No, I mean, and I don't even mean looking in the mirror. I just mean literally just sit down in your bed and think about yourself and your actions and how that could affect other people and how that could be perceived. You really have to look inwards before you see change outward, if you get what I mean. And lots of people can't do it as well. That's the most annoying thing, is there are some people that just can't do it. You see it all the time where people, they like repost the most motivational TikToks or anything on social media that's like so motivational, and you don't see the change. They're not looking inward. To be fair, I have been posting some motivational stuff recently. It's literally just CapCut templates that I was like, "Oh, that's a good video," because I want to be more consistent as well. So I get it, I do it too, but I'm taking the time to actually work on myself and look inwards, and I feel like some people don't. That's usually the avoidant type that don't want to sit in emotions, don't want to just let it flow. And I think that's what we need to start learning to not do. We need to start learning to sit with our emotions and feel. I'm going to say this now. I think the people that struggle with this the most are men, because this is going to get me into like a really fiery moment of passion. So, men are always told, "Men don't cry. Be a man. Man up." Basically, anything that says, "Don't show your emotions. Emotions are invalid if you're a man. Stop being such a woman." Like, why is feeling emotions, like feeling upset, feeling frustration, feeling angry, feeling vulnerable, why is that so feminine? Okay, maybe not the angry part. I feel like that's more masculine, because when you think of like angriness, you think of like a man punching a punching bag or something. I don't know. But vulnerability, any form of like emotional vulnerability, why is that considered feminine? And why can't men just be allowed to feel? It pisses me off. It actually pisses me off. I'm not saying this because I think that men can't look inwards and can't feel emotions. I'm saying this because they've been trained not to feel emotions and not to sit and feel and heal. They've been trained to avoid, distract, drink. I mean, drink is a big one, because the amount of things on social media where it's like a man who's upset, and instead of being upset and sitting with his emotions, he goes out and drinks with the boys. And I can't say that girls don't do this too, because there have been times where I have gone out drinking just to socialize. So I guess like men could be doing the same thing, but I mean like avidly, like practically all the time, instead of healing, instead of looking inward. And I feel like that's just a whole culture thing that we've just masculated, of like avoiding, acting okay, pretending everything's fine when it's not. And when a female's upset, I mean, nowadays, I think when a female's upset, she's told she's overreacting. Excuse me? No, I'm just feeling my emotions, which is a very normal and humane thing to do. And it's usually men saying you're overreacting. It's usually men. Or they just assume that you're on your period. What? I'm sorry, I'm feeling emotions right now, but I'm not on my period. Just because I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling frustrated, I'm feeling upset, I'm crying, does not instantly mean that I'm on my period, okay? That's why I also think like men struggle with growth more, because they've been taught in a society that is very much like females feel things, females do this, females do this, when in reality the men should be looked at in the same way, because we're all the same. We should be equal. We shouldn't be like, oh, women should stay in the kitchen. I mean, that culture has kind of died down now, but I feel like there are still some men that think it. And there's also like, men should be, well, yeah, men should just man up. But like, come on. It's so outdated. And in 2026, I think that we all need to start learning to just accept that people are people and people feel things. Everyone feels things. It's women, men, children, like, for crying out loud, the ant on the floor could be feeling something. They do feel, I'm sure they feel. Like, animals have their own way of, like, speaking to each other and conversing. So how can we say that they don't feel things? You know? Like, everything on planet Earth feels, but they might feel differently. But people as a species feel the same. Everybody cries. And I know that there's going to be some men that are like, I've never cried, or I haven't cried for 5 years. But everybody does, okay? You do cry. You just don't want to admit it because it's too feminine. And that's a big thing in growth. It's sitting with the uncomfortable, being in the discomfort and not trying to find a distraction, just literally just sitting in it. I could be having a bath in it, for crying out loud. Like I want to just sit in the uncomfortable. And the uncomfortable for me is time alone, solitude, being by myself, going out by myself. I feel so much judgment when I go shopping alone. There's like all of these girls that have all of their friends, and they're all shopping for clothes, and they're all getting each other's like opinions on a top or something. I feel so uncomfortable going alone in those situations. I don't know why, but I need to start learning to embrace the uncomfortable, because that's what's going to help me grow. Obviously, that doesn't mean just like, oh yeah, no, now I'm going to start doing everything by myself. No. it means that I need to start trying to do some things by myself and sitting with the uncomfortable. The reason that I'm so uncomfortable with being alone is because I've had a long-term relationship that's just come to a close, and we would do everything together. Like when you're spending all of your time with one person, and if you're not even with them, you're on call with them, or if you're not with them, you're texting them. When you're spending all of your time and all of your energy on one person, you lose sight of yourself and your independence. You can try to change it, but once that dynamic has started, it's hard to stop that dynamic. And so I decided, now I'm going to take the time for myself, and I'm going to learn my independence. I'm going to grow and become more independent, because what you turn into through growth attracts people like you. It attracts better people. If I grow into somebody who's more independent, I will attract an independent partner or a friend, or just people that have a same like-minded form of expression, I guess you could say. It's through all of these things that we grow that define who we can hang out with, or like who actually finds us interesting, if you get what I'm trying to say. I think the bottom line is growth doesn't just like happen overnight, and it takes time, and it takes sitting in the uncomfortable, and it takes looking inward, it takes reflection, and it takes really working on yourself to understand yourself and your point of view and your perspective on things, and understanding how that can be perceived by others, and then gradually you become the better version of yourself that attracts people like you that have taken the time to look inwards and reflect and be better people for it. So I'm gonna start embracing this in 2026. I want to sit with myself. It's time for me to take a break from relationships, from toxic cycles and toxic friendships and just toxic people. The first step of like closing that chapter is choosing myself. And I think that's what you gotta do. You gotta start choosing yourself. Because I've grown up all my life not choosing myself. I grew up sheltered by my parents, by my family members. That hasn't necessarily stunted my growth as a person. But I do think that with that shelter came naivety. I'm not saying that living a sheltered life is bad. I think I'm blessed to have lived such a sheltered life. I feel like the reality of what's happening in the news and everything only really came a reality to me at like the age of 13, or like when I started secondary school and had to hear about it in class. Like, I think that type of being sheltered and that feeling of being sheltered, I feel like that completely defined me as like, as a person. I grew up not knowing things that were going on in the world. And to be fair, it's also defined the fact that I don't necessarily like watching the news now. It's not something that really intrigues me. I don't like knowing the hard things that are going on in the world. I know about them. I don't like knowing about them because it upsets me. And I think that's also come from being sheltered and from a very happy familial background. It's reflected in relationships as well, and like my friendships. I'm very naive. In terms of like naivety, I mean like not necessarily understanding what's normal, what's not normal. And I don't necessarily think that that's like my parents' fault all the way that I grew up, but I do notice it in myself. I don't know when to back away from something that is not great for me. Like, I don't know when to take that step myself. I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm changing. And that dynamic it's behind me now, I think. I hope. With it being behind me, I want to become a completely new and improved version of myself. I do. It's something I'm just longing for right now. I want a complete wardrobe change. I want to start dressing differently, start acting differently, start making myself look more presentable, more sophisticated. I want to show up to my lectures looking better. Like, my style, okay, is like, no, my style at the moment is like okay, but I want to start looking better, more sophisticated, more like I'm going to a lecture than showing up to meet up with my friends for like a coffee. When you show up to work, you're wearing something sophisticated. When you are at home, you're wearing something to like lounge about in. When you're out with your friends, you're wearing something casual. There's usually like a set wardrobe for whatever environment you're in. For me, the wardrobe just stays the same. I don't want that anymore. I want to look more sophisticated. I want to look more like a girl who's about to be turning 20, because I'm turning 20 this year. I hate that. Oh my god, I'm old. Yeah, no, I want to start dressing more like a girl in her 20s than a girl in her teenagers. And obviously that's going to take months, because who can change their entire wardrobe overnight? I mean, no one. Who has the funds for that, for one? And also, it just takes time finding the right clothes, because I have searched high and low for the clothes that I am envisioning in my head, and I cannot find them. So, hence the London trip to go shopping by myself, which might make me feel really uncomfortable, but I'm going to do it because I'm going to sit with the uncomfortable, and I'm going to go shopping. I'm going to buy myself some clothes. I'm going to sit in a coffee shop. And when I sit in this coffee shop, I'm going to have my nice new bag, because I got a nice new bag. It's not in the room with me, but I got a nice new bag. I'm going to go with my nice new bag shopping, and I'm going to sit and I'm going to do some studying on my laptop. I'm going to do things alone that make me feel really uncomfortable because I'm doing it alone, but I'm going to do it anyway, because, okay, this is going to sound like really, really cliche. This is going to sound really cliche. The only thing in life that will literally never, ever leave you is you. That's the only thing. That is the only thing in life that will never, ever leave you. It's yourself. You will never leave you. Sorry, but you're stuck with yourself. If you don't like yourself, change yourself. If you aren't proud of yourself, make yourself proud and do something that you want to do with your life. Like, your friends, they're your friends, okay? It's okay. They're your friends. But they might leave. They might leave. They might move on to bigger, better things. I'm not saying that leaving you is, the best thing to ever happen to them. Like, it's not like that. But, like, they might move to a different country. They might leave that way. And you might just lose contact, like contact fizzles out. They've moved on to bigger and better things. You need to start moving on to bigger and better things yourself. Become the person that you want to be, because that's what matters at the end of the day. Who you want to be. Become that person. And that person doesn't just form overnight. No, it takes time, it takes energy, it takes effort, and for most of all, it takes looking inwards. It takes looking inwards at yourself and going, what about me am I not happy with right now? Right now, what about me am I not happy with? Define it, note where it's coming from, what it is, and find a way to change it. And you might have to take some really, really long times identifying the cause of why you are that way. That takes a lot of time, healing, energy, sometimes therapy. And I go to therapy. My therapist has taken a few weeks off, so I haven't actually spoken to my therapist in like a few months. But I did go to therapy, and I'm hoping to start it up again. It's really good to focus your mind on looking inwards, and therapy does that. It makes you speak about yourself. And half the time, I realize that I'm more aware about myself than I actually think I am, because I go into this therapy session and I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with me. And then I come out without even having her speak. I'm like, but I'm this way and I'm this way, and obviously that's the cause of this, and that's what's making my life hard. And I realize it because I'm talking it out. Therapy is really, really good. Therapy is really, really useful. And I also just think that's like the important thing, is looking inwards and reflecting. And that's what's going to help you become the person that you want to be. Because I don't want to be sat here in 50 years staring into this camera with this microphone, with this outfit on, with this same hairstyle, all old and wrinkly. No. I want to change. I want to be the better version of myself. And hopefully this podcast will be bigger and better than what it is right now, because this is my second episode. You get what I mean? I don't want to be in this position, the same position, 50 years down the line, I want to be flying to the Bahamas, traveling the world, living my best life. I don't want to be sat here doing the same stuff that I'm doing today. I don't want to be at uni still, because, I mean, I can't be at uni still because that ends at literally year 3 and I'm in second year. But I don't want to be at uni still. I don't want to be doing the same stuff that I'm doing right now. I want to be the bigger, better version of myself. Hopefully an actress. Hopefully on screen. Hopefully you'll see me on the big screens one day. I mean, you're watching this probably, maybe, potentially on your TV, or you're listening on your phone, or you're watching it on your phone, or maybe iPad, laptop, whatever. You get the gist. But I want to be in a movie. This is like a hobby. It's a hobby for me until I get paid. And when I get paid, then potentially a full-time job. But I want to be an actress, and I'm going to strive every single day to make that my reality. Because nobody can hold me back. Nothing in life can hold me back from being who I want to be. It just takes effort. Girl, you just gotta start putting in the work. Because when you start putting in the work, things start showing for it. Choose yourself every single blinking day. Choose yourself every day and make you the best version of yourself that you possibly could be. I feel like I've just become like a motivational speaker right now, and I'm just repeating the same topic, but that's the hard truth about it. You can say that you're taking the steps. You can say that you're becoming the best version of yourself, and then you can spend all day sitting at home in bed. Or maybe the issue is something deep inside of you, so instead of doing that, you start working on your looks. Or like, do you get what I mean? Like, some people, they have like things that are inside of them that are so deep and so painful that they can't actually look at themselves inwardly. So they go, oh, what about my appearance can I change? Like, what about my appearance can I change? Oh, do I need to get lip filler? Do I need a nose job? Those things don't make you a better person. They don't make you a better person. They just change your appearance. Congratulations, you've changed your appearance. And that's not me slandering anybody who's got a nose job or done lip filler, because not every single person on planet Earth hasn't has done that because they refuse to look inwardly. I feel like a lot of people do that because they just want to do that, and it's not necessarily about like, I don't want to look inwardly, so what about my, appearance can I change? But some people do that, and I feel like it takes some time to realize it. I mean, for crying out loud, like I went through a breakup. It's not my most recent one. It was the one before that. I went through a breakup, and I was like, he left me. It crushed me, and it hurt. Like, it killed me. I was so distraught, so beside myself, and I wanted to act okay. I wanted to distract myself, and I was like, why did this person leave me? Why would he leave me? Why would he leave me? But I didn't look at myself inwardly. Instead, I was like, oh, what about my appearance didn't he like? And then I got this, my little nose piercing. So it's not like I'm not speaking from experience, because I didn't look inwardly. I looked at my appearance and I was like, I'm not gonna change. I'm not gonna become a better version of myself. I'm just gonna change my appearance. That doesn't work. Getting a piercing did nothing about making me a better version of myself. It gave me a little bit more confidence, because I was like, oh my god, yeah, no, got a nose piercing now. Haha, I'm the best, baddest, be alive. But no, that did nothing about changing my personality, or like making my personality better, or like making myself better and just being a better person. It did nothing like towards that. It just changed my appearance slightly, like ever so slightly. So instead of doing that, focus on yourself inwardly, because I mean, if you want to get the nose piercing, go for it, but don't do it for like, oh, this person left me, I'm so sad. No, start looking inward. Obviously, sometimes you don't even, you go through a breakup and you're the person breaking up with that person, and you still don't want to look inwardly because there were problems in the relationship, and you don't want to look inwardly. So then you start doing things like this. Like, I can't think of everything like in terms of all of my past stories about what I've done after breakups, but I can assure you that a lot of it wasn't looking inward. And this time it's different. It's different because in any relationship there are always going to be some issues. There's always going to be some like arguments. And I think that you just need to start looking inward and looking at yourself from a better and lighter perspective, because that's what's going to make the change. That is what's going to make the change at the end of the day. So start looking inward and become the best version of yourself. And yeah, don't just go, oh, this person left me, I'm so sad, let me just I mean, go to the gym. I mean, obviously lots of people go to the gym originally to, yeah, because I did this. That's actually something that I did do. I got out of a really, really toxic relationship, but I was like, God, 16? I got out of a really, really toxic relationship when I was 16, yeah. And I decided, oh, I feel like in this situation, it was creating a body that he hadn't touched. So for me, that was kind of like my mentality. But I still didn't look inward. I still didn't like become the best version of myself. I just wanted a body that he didn't touch and he couldn't have anymore. So I went to the gym. And I feel like the gym, it kind of starts as like I need to change my body, and then gradually it becomes like a therapy, and then you get like mental clarity. So not necessarily like gym is bad after a breakup. It's not the worst thing in the world. It definitely took a lot of like energy away from sitting with it though. If you get what I mean, like you aren't sitting in the discomfort, you're at the gym, you're basically burning off the discomfort. You're like, oh, sweat. Oh, I miss this person. Oh, you get what I mean? It just is, it's slightly different, but obviously, like, these things aren't gonna change you as a person. The only person that can change you as a person is you, by looking inward, not by going, oh, my appearance, let's change that, because that will prove them wrong. That'll show them who's boss. Growth and change is a mentality, and it's energy, and it takes time. But we're all going to get there eventually. We're going to become the people that we want to be by focusing on it, by really sitting with it. I think I've said all that I need to say and repeated all that I need to say. But if anything is going to stick with you from this whole podcast episode, if anything is going to stick with you, it has to be that if you don't like yourself, change yourself, because the only person that is ever gonna fully stay with you 100% from birth till death is you. This is your life. Choose how you live it and choose yourself every single time, even when it's hard, even when you don't want to. Choose yourself, because your future self is going to be 1,000 times more grateful if you choose yourself instead of choosing somebody else and then staying with that person in a friendship or relationship that doesn't fulfill you, and in 50 years time you're like miserable. Choose yourself. That's what needs to stick with you. Growth is choosing yourself every single day and making small improvements and doing the inner work to be the best version of you. So choose yourself. And that's the end of this episode, and I really do hope you enjoyed, and I really, really do hope you stick around. And I feel like there's going to be a lot more episodes like this, and there's going to be a lot more episodes that are maybe about my chronic fatigue, because I do want to speak about that. I feel like that's going to be maybe my next episode. I think I'm going to do a whole episode about potentially, like, I guess, living the life that, you never thought you'd live, or like being limited. I don't know, I need to think about the title, but like being limited in life and how life has changed. And I feel like that's going to be my next episode about chronic fatigue. But do stick around, because if you like this episode, there will be so many more like it in the future. Obviously, this is only episode 2, so yes, do stick around. I love you all so, so much, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Goodbye. Bye, guys.